Hi, I'm Sanna Anderson, and I'm one of the nutritional therapists at the Optimum Health Clinic nutrition team. I'm here today to introduce myself to you first and foremost, and also to give you 3 tips about how to learn more about your fatigue. It can be hugely helpful for both our clients as well as us, the practitioners, to understand in more detail what has an impact on our clients' energy levels. There's so many nuances and different factors that can affect energy, and these can vary hugely from one client to the next. So the more we understand, the better we are, of course, able to address individual situations. The easiest way to start decoding this, I find, is to talk about what I call energy negatives and positives. So in other words, what boosts or at least helps preserve and what depletes your energy levels. And what I find really interesting is how different the energy negatives and positives can be from one client to the next. So what sorts of things might fall into these categories then? So firstly, let's look at physical energy levels. Some clients are very clear on their physical energy boundaries. They maybe are able to shower and get dressed in the morning, but will have to rest before sorting out breakfast. Or they could walk to the end of their road and back, but absolutely no further. And if this boundary of physical energy is breached, there is usually a price to pay in terms of either immediate or delayed physical fatigue. Or you could put it the other way around. An energy positive in these kinds of situations usually would be knowing that physical rest at least helps to some degree to replenish energy levels. So for these clients, we'd be looking particularly at anything that could be depleting or harming their mitochondria, which are the energy producing units in the cells. And while we're doing that work, pacing, which I mean looking at your energy boundaries, recognizing them and trying to stick to them, would be really, really helpful. If you already know your boundaries, that's great. If not, you could start by noting what you've done differently on days when you have less energy. So at that point, when you feel your energy is really depleting, just look back and think, what did you do differently? What else happened? Where did you maybe use a little bit more than you normally would have? Because more you can keep a steady pace, the better. Constant booming and busting may just further stress your mitochondria and obviously you as well out. I find another big energy negatives for some clients can be stress. And these are usually the clients who tell me that their energy can be completely zapped by something stressful happening. Or it doesn't even have to be anything particularly stressful, because for many clients, it can just be too much to be surrounded by lots of people, having to socialize, or even just to be in busy, noisy, brightly lit environments. And on the other hand, these clients may even tell me that they feel their energy is replenished by physically doing something they enjoy. Often maybe walking their dog, being outdoors in the nature, doing some meditative exercises. So as you can see, in these sorts of situations, the energy boundary is much less about physical reserves and much more about how stress affects the body. And we may end up testing adrenal function as a priority because these glands are central to our stress response. And by supporting better adrenal function, we may well be able to restore some of the missing energy as well. In the meantime, learning and using different relaxation techniques or talking to one of our psychology practitioners would be very, very helpful too. A third distinct area that I've seen affecting energy is food. And I definitely mean in a slightly more complicated sense than just eating or not eating. Some clients find that they always feel exhausted after meals, or others notice that there's particular foods that seem to really have a negative effect on their energy levels. And of course, again, there could be a number of reasons behind these symptoms. The digestive system, for example, could be struggling with insufficient production of digestive secretions. And this would include stomach acid and a variety of enzymes that help break food down, which then makes it ready for absorption. We can support this, usually by using supplemental digestive enzymes as a first line of action. Or there could be some unwanted bacterial overgrowth somewhere in the digestive system. Many bacteria that we don't necessarily want to grow in our gastrointestinal tract. They use certain types of carbohydrates, especially for their fuel. And every time we eat those carbohydrates, these bacteria can feast on those foods, metabolize them, and by producing metabolic waste, they can put an extra burden on the body. We have various ways of testing for bacterial imbalances. And then, of course, how we approach these situations would very much depend on those results. In the meantime, firstly, it's really helpful to start keeping a diet diary alongside a symptom diary so that together with your practitioner, you can start identifying whether there are any patterns that you're seeing. It may then be helpful to reduce those foods that feed the unwanted bacteria, or in the case of the digestive system just struggling to cope, it could also be just helpful to think about how to make food more easily digested. So thinking about soups and smoothies, gently cooking vegetables before eating them would be much more helpful for a system that's struggling than, for example, big raw salads. I really like doing this work with clients in helping them to get to know their bodies better. It is often a journey to really learn to listen to how your body responds in different situations, but it can make your symptoms at least a little bit less frustrating when we get clearer on the cause and the effect. And please don't get frustrated if you feel you can't decode all of these clues on your own. The way I see this, that it's the teamwork between me as the practitioner and you, the client, that ultimately gets us the best results. So for you, the client, you just need to tune into the messages your body is sending, and we will then help you decode it and hopefully find solutions to these problems as well. Next time you feel like your energy is crashing, just stop and rewind a little bit and think, what was different to the days when the energy has perhaps been a little bit more steady? Did you do something more physically? Did something particularly stressful happen? Did you see more people? Did you maybe eat something a little bit differently? I'd love to hear more about your energy negatives and positives, and you can leave a comment below if you'd like. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching this video, and we'll be back with more soon.